And we're live. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? So please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Sahaj from Linaro. I work as an application engineer with the 96Boards team, but I've been an ARM fanboy for a while. And
How long? How long have you been an ARM
how
fanboy?
long? Well, since the Raspberry Pi came out. That's a long time.
7, 8
Uh,
years, something like that.
yeah, I think.
So ARM is how many billions of chips per second? per, per year or
Per year.
something?
I don't know. Yeah,
All of
it's a
that.
massive.
How many ARM chips do you have in your office right there?
Oh, I can't count them on my hand. I have so my SBC count. The last I checked, about a year ago, was around 2021, and then I've gotten a bunch more stuff from there. So I'd give it a good 30.
Nice. And this is your YouTube channel right here, Geek Till It Hurts.
Yeah.
And you
So,
have like how many videos?
uh, 4 or 5. No, I don't remember honestly. It's been a while.
And you show awesome stuff like this, right? What is
Yeah,
this?
that's the Pinebook Pro. It's an ARM powered laptop. It came out before the M1 Mac, and it's powered by the Architect 399. Pretty neat stuff.
3399 is like it's a awesome
It's yeah, it's
processor, and it's been going for 4 or 5 years now.
yeah. I mean, it's fun once you upstream a processor into Linux kernel and U-boot. The support never stops. People just pick it up and use it.
How's it going with the what you call it, the reverse engineering of the GPU and that sphere, because it's Mali.
Yeah, so yeah, that laptop actually runs that reverse engineered Panfrost driver, and it's really good. It's catching up pace. It's much easier to integrate. Actually, if you just install a Linux OS, it's integrated by default. You don't have to do anything special for it. No binaries, nothing. Just install.
And it's really good. How good is it compared to like the official like Android GPU driver?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're getting really close in terms of feature comparison. I hope they start working on Vulkan drivers soon, because I see that's sort of kind of the future the GP world is heading in. So yeah, it's good. It's very much usable. You can play some games as well.
You probably have videos about Panfrost, right?
I do.
I found the Panfrost bunch. Like when I look at this, for example, oh, there, Geek Till It Hurts, and then you
Yeah,
jump
that's a
in.
very old me.
And what do you talk about in there? Like you're showing some.
Ooh, these are really early. All right, so these are from Lima. Lima was the older 400 series, 450 series reverse engineered driver, and this was at a time when Lima was just good enough to show some spinning cubes. You couldn't really do a whole lot with it, and till now, like Lima has gained a lot of traction. It's working really well.
Nice. And then you just talk a lot, right?
Yeah,
About it.
I do talk a lot.
And there is showing that it can boot, or
So that's already booting. It's just running the GL Mark II demo.
all right, cool. So it's gotten a lot of support over the last couple of years. All this open source
Yeah.
GPU driver, and but would
Yeah.
you say
So
that it's how much more can be done to get it like perfect?
so to get it perfect, I think you need to be feature complete on OpenGL 3. You need to have Vulkan support and then have OpenCL support. All of them can come at a very fast pace, especially because Mesa, the folks that run the whole Linux um, open source driver stack, they now have something called Clover, and I've been testing it, and it's really fun because Clover provides OpenCL uh, over just that Mesa stack by default. So AMD GPUs, you don't need to install even their GPU AMD GPU Pro drivers for compute now. You can just use Clover. and that provides open source OpenCL driver as well.
But that works on the AMD stuff, and
For now,
also on the Mount. Not what do you mean?
not yet, not yet.
But it's going to come to the Mali, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I see that sort of a path they should go on.
Nice. And here are we screen sharing? This is your screen share.
Yeah.
So, what's some of the other kind of awesome stuff you've been talking about recently on your YouTube channel?
Some of the most recent stuff has been with ARM desktops, because I was lucky enough for SolidRun to send me a Honeycomb LX2, which is based on LX2160A from NXP. It's a 16-core 16-core Cortex A72 CPU, but more importantly, it's like it's ARM compliant, so systems ready ES compliant. So it just boots as a desktop. And that's really fun because you can even install Windows on it. So if I may,
yeah, please, maybe you can screen share. I'm just going on their official video on their website. So that's the board right there, and you can run Windows.
Camera. Yeah, there you go. So on my cam, because I'm screen sharing, like video captioning into a camera device. This is the Honeycomb, and as you can see, it looks like it's in the BIOS, and that's because it is. Like, it has a full UEFI driver. And I've just rebooted it, so you can like see the boot up screen. And this has just been a really fun toy for the last month.
How's the performance?
It's really good. You can add your own memory, and I have like 64 gigs of memory on there. So I have enough memory. You can add your own GPU. I have an RX 560 on there right now. GPU only works under Linux for now, because there aren't any drivers on the Windows side. But just to prove that it can do things differently, I need to show like proper. This is Windows 10 on ARM. This is what the stuff you get on ARM-powered Microsoft Surface laptops.
How do you get that image? Do they just let people download it and stuff?
Yeah, kind of. I have a video on it coming tomorrow. So yeah, it's basically you have a virtual image and then you convert it into a disk image and you just install it.
Oh, how smooth is this Windows?
So it's kind of okay, but because there is no GPU driver, you can't really game. I've tried to, like, you can see I have Steam installed, and that Steam is x86, so it's running under the emulation layer. But like, you can't really game on it because like AMD doesn't provide ARM drivers, so that's a limitation. But as for testing stuff out on ARM, I think it's really good.
Nice. So that's 16 core.
Yeah. Wait, let me actually.
ARM Cortex A72.
Yeah.
So it's sold by NXP. It's part of the Layerscape, right? They call it.
Yeah. Yeah. So 16 core Cortex A72, and then I have 64 gigs of memory on there. So yeah, running this machine on Linux is even more better because you just get to do so much fun stuff.
So you are you gonna reboot into Linux now?
Okay, let's do a quick reboot. Also, doesn't take too much long because all I have in there are SSDs.
How do you share it? How do you share that screen right now? Do you use some kind of switcher?
I have a Camlink 4K USB stick, and it just acts as a webcam device. So I just changed my webcam in the settings. That's all.
Nice.
Just takes a second to reboot.
So it's is it kind of like server, desktop?
Yeah.
What kind of market are they trying to do with this?
So it's network server-ish. It has a bigger brother. That's the Clear Frog. And oops, why does it boot in Windows? I don't want it booting on Windows. Please don't. Please don't. I will boot it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, there you go.
No problem.
Anyway, so it has a bigger brother that has a 100 gigabit Ethernet port on it, not Ethernet, but SFP port on it. And this one doesn't have that port. It has four 40 gigabit ports on it. I think I said that right, or a single 40 gig. All right, 410 gigabits port, and then you can act as a single 40 gigabit or something like that. But yeah, it's very networking focused. So network server, but it's also in this standardized desktop format and has this really nice EFI. So you can just install it. The installation process on it is basically you have an ISO. You can even write an ISO to a DVD and it will work. But you can have an ISO on a USB stick. You plug in that USB stick and it boots like a desktop. There's no board specific image. There's nothing like that.
So, are you playing around with this as part of the 96Boards ecosystem?
Oh, no,
or is going to be some kind of support in there, or?
This is just my personal stuff right now. 96Boards is separate. That's work. And we'll talk about that in a little while. I have some interesting project on the 96Boards side as well. So again, that's just standard Fedora install, and it works just fine. And yeah, the GPU works. See, AMD GPU. Okay, so for some reason that demo isn't working.
So it is an exciting world we are living in 2021, no? Where
Yeah.
I mean, there's been ARM laptops and Chromebooks and some Windows 10 on ARM happening. There was what's it called? There was this desktop that was featured a few times at the Linaro Connect. With how many cores?
The eMag one with the 200 or something threads, right?
Yeah. What's it called? eMag.
I think it was Ampere eMag.
Okay, there's that too.
Yeah, starts at like 4,300 USD.
And what's it called? Sorry, there was this desktop video I did. I'm just trying to find it right here.
The developer box. Did you do that one as well?
Yeah.
There was the Thunder X station from Marvel.
Socionex.
Yeah, Socionex
2A11.
Yeah, so that's the 96Boards one.
So that's been happening also.
Yeah, that's been happening, and it's in developers' hand, and like it's already upstreamed everywhere. It's a nice desktop. I don't have it, sadly. Surprisingly, never got one. But yeah, it was a really special beast because it was just one of the first desktop form factor ARM devices, and the CPU was really aimed towards low power but heavily multi-threaded applications. So it has like Cortex A53, but it had like 24 of them. So you could compile a kernel, you could like fully force that CPU to go 100%, and you could still put your hand on the CPU and it would be barely warm. But yeah, their main I think goal was for a lot of AI and video encoding stuff. So their
that was in 2017 already.
Yeah, Hong Kong Connect, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the idea with that was to just have the CPU push data onto the PCIe devices. Yep.
So it's been a dream of, I guess, all the guys at Linaro to develop on ARM devices, right?
Yeah.
I've been using for the last couple months M1 MacBook Air, but it's just It's just in the Mac OS, which is a little bit weird thing to play with. But you've heard of people also trying to port Linux to it?
Yeah, so there have been work. Let me share my screen. There it is. I have it on my screen. So if it's there, Asahi Linux has been a work by Hector Martin to get Linux ported and upstreamed properly, in a proper way to to the M1, and there have been many updates, but it's not like super usable right now, and sometimes it's usable. I haven't really
how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna make it work?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just code compiled to run on an architecture. So they have to start really at the beginning, see what the how do you get. So luckily, Apple doesn't like super hard lock their bootloader, so like officially you can still unlock its bootloader and run your own kernel on it. It's just like figuring out how to get the ARM M1 specific stuff into Linux. So yeah, that's sort of the work being done. There's also Corellium. They've also done some work on it. I think Corellium's build works already pretty okay, but not sure if it's 100% like upstream friendly. So they have an entire video on it. So this is like Ubuntu running on the M1. So yeah, two projects. Hopefully, both of their efforts can be combined into a proper running.
I remember seeing QMU Twitter posts that were talked
people,
a bunch. People are talking about that, but that's just that's virtualization, or what do you call it?
So Apple already supported virtualization out of the box and to run Linux clients on it, Linux VMs, and then Alex Graf just did a few changes into QEMU, built it for Apple, and was able to run over QEMU instead of using Apple's Apple's app for virtualization. I don't know what they called it.
Do you think when is the next Linaro Connect? Is that in April?
So the ones coming up in March is going to be virtual, and then the September one is also going to be virtual. So yeah.
But before March, March you say? We are in March.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like how soon?
Connect.linaro.org. Let's talk about that as well.
March 23
to 25th.
That's kind of like in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's too soon to get a MacBook Air to run native Linux for all the Linaro engineers.
Too soon. I don't know. Because I don't think Linaro engineers will really like the MacBook. It's limited in its memory. It only has like 16 gigs. We really need a beefy system. So like all my systems are 32 gigs and up.
I only have 8 gigabyte RAM on my MacBook Air. I'm kind of like imagining that it would be good enough for 4K 60 video editing, because I'm imagining that somehow they don't really use the extra RAM for. I mean, maybe they do, but when you multitask, I guess. But but otherwise, they swap with that 3,000 megabyte per second built-in SSD.
Yeah,
and maybe that allows them to do a lot.
It does, but it shortens the life as well of the SSD.
Yeah, that's what some people are saying, right? But I kind of think that they hopefully they have, I don't know, some kind of magical SSD that really has a long life, or that maybe like
so
they can't be shipping something that gets bad after a year or two.
Because like for Watch Zero, the Apple Watch Zero, the support was barely a year. So first gen devices, I think it's okay to assume that the support might not be too long. But like the M1X Apple or M2 Apple might be a better thing.
I'm ready to join the class action lawsuit. I'm good. I'm if my MacBook Air M1 stops working, I'll just sue them together with 10 million other Apple fanboys. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know. It's just some weird articles on the internet. People saying that the SSD is being used too much.
Yeah, because like the problem is the really good SSDs, the SLC or single level SSDs are only with Google and Apple and some with Amazon, because they are solely used for cloud providers for their storage. It's like you don't even get them at a regular market, or like Apple can't get their hands on them, Samsung can't get their hands on them.
We'll see.
So
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if the flash is single level on there.
Here's Barrow on my top search results.
Oh
do
yeah.
Do you know what he's doing?
I don't remember his latest stuff. I know he
Yeah.
left Linaro about a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to film an update with Barrow. Check out what he's up to.
Yeah.
What his latest projects are, because he liked to. It was 2017, and he was building an ARM Cortex A that was using the Macchiato bin, ARM desktop.
Yeah.
And there's also videos with him doing ARM laptops and stuff using Qualcomm's.
Yeah.
There's also the Thunder X. You know, like.
Yeah, I've seen this.
They had lots of traction when it comes to like the ARM server world and stuff.
They had
acquired by Marvell, but then they're not doing the custom CPU anymore, or
now they killed Thunder X3, and it's just like, I think, a la carte. So if someone like a big player like Microsoft wants to go, hey, we need a bunch of ARM silicon for our servers and our laptops, they'll put their Thunder X3 technology in that, but they're not selling Thunder X3 as a separate SoC right now. So they kind of killed that project already, sadly.
But I was thinking maybe the reason they did that was to just make, you know, like ARM cores and not make them custom. But they haven't announced what they were doing.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Because as far as I know, the Thunder X3. Okay, don't quote me on this, but I think the Thunder X3 team has been laid off already. There was a big layoff at Marvell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but maybe it had to do with the customizing. I'm not sure, but maybe it's because
not sure. There hasn't been any updates, but yeah, the projects were really good.
Yeah, that's so many videos on the Thunder X over the time, but it doesn't mean that the ARM servers are not going gangbusters right now. Like even ARM announced a bunch of cores that were optimized for mega servers. No.
N1, N2, V1, and E something, if I remember correctly, that was another one. And then we saw Graviton 2 with Amazon, and then with Ultra, the Ampere Ultra, that's been released recently as well.
So here's the Ampere Ultra, which is which other companies was it? Not Cisco or some kind of huge company is saying they have a huge deal going on with this chip. Is it Dell? Is it HP?
So Gigabyte already has announced new servers with the Ultra server motherboards. So Mount Jade is their older platform, not older, but like the initial platform. And then there was Mount Snow, which released recently, and that motherboard's made by Gigabyte. I'm not sure who the OEM at the end of the day is. Maybe it's HP, maybe it's Dell. But I'm hoping to see deployment soon.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some big stuff.
You muted yourself.
Oh, oops, sorry. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay,
yep.
So the Ampere's vision, and Renee James was like a vice president or president over there at Intel before, and they're going big. There was this cool project. John Masters was part of Nuvia, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
it like really intriguing to
it
kind of like
was.
imagine what they were doing?
It was very intriguing. I don't know how to feel about them being bought up by Qualcomm, but you know, things
Yeah,
happen. They need money to survive, and Qualcomm's not that bad of a place. If Qualcomm's really smart, they'll use Nuvia tech in their laptops, and if they're really smart, they'll let Nuvia also make servers and get back into the server market.
maybe that chip that Nuvia was working on is optimized, maybe not only for the data center, maybe it could also help Qualcomm challenge the M1 and the laptop and desktops.
Which
Or
which
do you
makes
think?
really real sense because the folks at Nuvia were the ones who made the M1 chip.
Oh, really?
They're ex-Apple, all of them, all the top tier ones.
Not John Masters.
No, not John Masters.
Yeah. Maybe let's get back to your channel. Or do you want to talk about some of the latest stuff that's happening in the 96 boards?
Yeah, I can actually, if you are on my screen, that's a drone, and so that's some of the newer things I've been working with at 96 Boards to try and get a drone platform out. So 96 Boards drone platform. We have a few prototypes in production, and hopefully I get them soon enough. And yeah, so I've been building drone, testing it out, just understanding what the Pixhawk ecosystem looks like. So and hopefully soon we have a Pixhawk based 96 boards drone board out there.
So what is the chip there going on?
On this one, oh, this is a PX4 or PX5. This is from Pixhawk. It's a module that we're going to use later on.
So what is a Pixar
Pixhawk. I'll just send you the.
Pixhawk?
Yeah.
Is that a ARM Cortex?
Oh, Pixhawk is a entire stack of hardware built to run and control drones autonomously or not. More of like an autopilot flight management system. Um, yeah, and they have their own standards. So I have some of the Holy Bro stuff. Holy Bro is like one of their vendors, and they send me a V5X module to plug that in and try it out, and then we'll base our boards out of that. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think I did this video right here. I think they were at the ARM booth. They were showing
Yeah,
kind of like they're doing an open ecosystem in around the
yeah,
drones.
yeah. Because I think they use Cortex M7 now. They used to use M4s. So that one is based on Pixhawk 4 is based on an M4, and I think Pixhawk 5 and V5 forward is based on Cortex M7. So yeah.
And this was 3 years ago or something. There was a bunch of drones. So
Mhm.
they had stuff running Intel, Qualcomm. I don't know, a whole bunch of different. It's like an open ecosystem kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it is. So their designs are open, the specifications are open, the firmware is open, so you can even go in and add your own. If you build your own controller, you can add that add Pixhawk firmware onto it.
All right. How about some other examples of the latest stuff? What's is there how would you define the 96 boards ecosystem of the last? I mean, how it's been going on for 4 or 5 years now, or even more.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we are maturing a lot. We are also coming very close to a new a spec revision. So look out for that in the coming months. We are revising our CE spec or our consumer edition spec, like this board right here, and adding some new pins, new buses, and all the fun stuff. So yeah, we are maturing. We are partnering up with a lot of big players. Um, and hopefully we see a lot of new boards.
So CE spec has been announced. What's going to happen to it?
No, it's in the coming months. I can't say exactly when. It's a surprise.
And what you
Everyone will
just
get
showed
into
was
it.
like a surprise, or?
No, this is a CE V1 spec. So this is the Avenger 90. Oops.
Oh, it's okay, right? It's drop proof.
Yeah. This is the Avenger 96, and it's based on the SCM32 MP1 module by DH Core, and this one's made by Arrow. So yeah, a very IoT focused board, has a dual core Cortex A7, and then I think a Cortex M4 in there for real time stuff.
So it's basically like the size of two 96 board
Yeah,
CEs original.
this is the extended spec, and this is the normal, the non-extended spec. This is the Rb3, which has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. So a very powerful board. This thing can like clock up to 2.7 gigahertz on the top four cores, and the little cores go like 1.8 or 1.7. But yeah, really nice, really powerful board, this one. So this is the CE spec. This is the CE extended spec. The form factor remains the same on the revision, and it will be backwards compatible, but just new pins and new buses to be introduced, much more high speed stuff.
I remember some of the talk around the 96 boards when it was introduced originally was the stuff like having a standardized, the standard charging connector, or what was the other things people are thinking about?
The power connector is standardized. All the port layout is standardized. So we're not touching any of the stuff that's already standardized. We're just adding things on. People needed USB 3 broken out. People needed something with UART broken out on the board. So things like that are getting into it, into the new spec.
A13 Tech says hi.
Hey, what's up?
A13 is the opener? No.
It's his favorite SoC.
There's a question zooming in there.
Yes.
PCIe?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what else could you talk about? Maybe you can share your screen in terms of what would you like to talk about here on your
So amongst the newer things, so last physical connect, September 2019, we showed off the Rb3 robotic arm. So it was a robotic arm based on the Rb3 board I just showed here. And this board, this robotic arm was basically a tech demo to show the power of the Rb3, but we are now going to improve upon it. And let's see if I can get a close up. So we are now planning on improving upon it, and to get like a better version of it, much more smoother running version of it. Why did it fade to black? I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, trying to do new stuff with PID controllers, smoother movement, more AI stuff integrated onto it. So yeah, that's sort of something I'm looking forward to work on. Yeah, apart from that, really excited for the new spec. There are a few new boards that I can't really talk about.
A13 says, do we get a preview of CE spec today?
Nope, it's not in my hands. You don't get to see what the CE Spec 2 holds. It'll be announced very soon.
Like we just said that there was a Linaro Connect virtual event next week. So who knows? Who knows, right?
Yep.
And if you go back to your share screen there, I mean, you've got so many videos. Did you mention before how many it was?
No, wait.
1,000?
I'll have to check. Not that many.
I think when I search on YouTube, I can see you have 500 videos right now.
Yeah, that's around what I'd say as well.
And like, what are some of the coolest videos you've been posting over the, let's say, last year? What would you say?
I think one of the coolest ones was building my new workstation as well, which was really good. Um, good feeling project because it was just the start of pandemic. You couldn't get anything, so there was a lot of stuff in, okay, source this, we are getting this now, the vendor says he has it, just rush to the shop, go get it, pay
Can you
up.
make it full screen?
Yeah, sure.
So what are we looking at
And
here?
so this is Ryzen 9 3950X 60, so 32 cores, 16 physical cores, rest logical, around 4 gigahertz all core, and 128 gigs of memory, and a lot of SSDs on it. I think there's like right now 2 plus 1 3 plus 3.5 terabytes of SSDs. So yeah, it's a beast of a system, and all this is like 32 gig sticks each, for 128 gig. Yeah, so all Ryzen platform, PCIe 4 goodness. I do have a weaker GPU, but just getting a GPU is impossible these days, so I'm just using something that I've got. Yeah, so this had been an interesting build, and yeah, it's just been so easy to work with these days.
The AMD guys are doing a good job destroying Intel in the x86 arena.
I'd say the Intel guys are doing a poor job to show what they're capable of.
Oh, you think they can do more than what they're showing?
I think Intel can do a lot more. It's just like poor leadership past few years. I think the new guy should really handle it better.
That's a big
It's a
what
big
you call
heat
it?
sink.
Big heat sink.
The
You
heat sink's
could
capable of dissipating like 250 watts.
you could totally keep your ice cream cold with it, right, or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So does that mean you can build stuff faster? What can you do with this?
Ooh, yeah. Android builds in an hour, where it was taking me 4 hours earlier on my Xeon laptop. Um, what else? Linux kernel takes barely 5 minutes. Entire Yocto builds are done in an hour or less. Actually, much less, 30 minutes or something like that. Also, like Android builds these days takes huge amounts of memory. I've been hitting like 65 gigs already. Yes, I've not. I see the question from A13, but uh, I have not done that test yet.
Are you talking about this one?
There's, yeah, no, there's a new one called how many kernels per hour you can build.
There I see.
That
Yeah.
just came up, yeah, and that was a benchmark written by Marchin, and I haven't run this on the system because honestly, who cares? Like it's so fast.
Nice.
But
I'm just gonna
yeah,
open one of your videos. When I
sure.
go on this one, what's happening here? You remember this one?
Do you
It's
have the title?
uh, x86 emulation.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So the guy, so Alex Graf, who wrote the who did the QEMU stuff on Apple M1 many years ago, um, when they were all the whole UEFI scene on ARM64 was really coming up, and around the time the developer box was released, Alex Graf wrote a QEMU emulator within the UEFI bootloader. So what it enables you to do is to run x86 EFI drivers for your GPU or your network cards, and run that on an ARM system during boot up. So that means if you have a network card that only works with x86 systems, you can actually Pixie boot using that network card because the EFI driver is loaded and emulated.
But what does it run on?
Radeon.
Radeon. What are we looking at here?
That's a USB. I think which one is it? Yeah, that's one of the USB hubs. I had some issue with them. I was just talking about something else for a moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go around your channel.
Sure.
Is it fun to do this YouTube channel?
It's fun. It's kind of been less rewarding recently because YouTube's been, upload every day or you don't get paid as much or we'll cut your views, blah 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 blah. So it's just been like I only upload when I really want to upload something. Sadly enough, like I'd be happy for a platform that promotes my. Oh yes, that's my folding at home farm. So another interesting story. If you can switch me over to my screen share.
Yeah.
During the start of the pandemic, a few friends and I in the ARMC ecosystem did some work to port Rosetta at home and eventually folding at home to ARM. So we worked with the Rosetta at home team and the folding at ARM home team to make sure that we can have our ARM devices crunch protein folding sequences to run and contribute to the coronavirus vaccine related research. So this is actually the first image that verified like a proper protein fold being done on at the actual arm image. This is like my arm cluster which I run my folding at home stuff on. And this is just the Seattle system that I used to develop this whole used to port Rosetta at home. And eh, so Equinox Metal, we have friends there, and they lent us like a few ARM servers to run like run the protein folding sequences on their ARM server. So there's like 64 core ARM server running protein folding here, and then I don't know, 32 core ARM servers, couple of them running protein folding right there.
A packet server still crunching is one.
Yeah. So packet servers are still crunching. Packet is now Equinox Metal. So yeah, those I think my servers are gone. They had to be repurposed, but I think a couple of servers are still crunching.
Because when we're talking about the 250 billion ARM processors, I don't remember how many there are, but it'd be nice to have some kind of option to use them all and help make the world a better place, right? To like flip some kind of switch, and then we have a supercomputer that's distributed.
So one of the folks who helped us in this endeavor were folks from NeoCortex, and they are trying to do this thing. So you just download their app, and you give them resources of your phone when your phone is not in use, and you can actually get paid for it. So yeah, you can actually run folding at home and Rosetta at home on your phone. Just download the app.
Nice, because how about all these IoT devices everywhere, and my like security camera or something should be helping them out. Does that make sense?
Eventually, but sometimes like the return on investment, like if the process is too slow to even return the protein math in time, then it's of no use. So there's obviously a lower threshold to it, but yeah, cell phone mobile phone style processors are just good enough.
Because right now there's a big news. The Fugaku got turned on like 3-4 days ago. And this is, this could be, this is an ARM supercomputer that's like 5 times faster than the second biggest, which is PowerPC. And they were presenting, they're part of Linaro, right? The Fujitsu guys.
Yeah.
So they've been working with Linaro to try to optimize everything of the, this is over there in the, what call it, the enterprise, Linaro Enterprise, right?
No, they are part of Linaro HPC or high performance computing group. So that's separate from enterprise. And it's a different sort of beast because the way it uses its processor, it has like 48 cores, but only 2 cores run Linux and are like assistant cores, and like the rest of the cores are running their own actually just there for the supercomputing math using Neon and other SIMD stuff that they developed. And then they have all of that connected to like an HBM2 RAM buffer very close to the CPU, so the memory transactions also like a terabyte a second. So yeah, a different beast, a very purpose-built beast, but it's a beast nonetheless.
Yeah, because it was this event they had just recently where they invited the Japanese media, and they show this gigantic,
Yeah,
huge supercomputer, and it's switched on, and maybe it's going to help like predict the tsunamis and
yeah,
the earthquakes and the understand the climate change, the weather, and I mean there's so many, and maybe help in the understanding the corona stuff and all the like medical
man.
research and everything.
If we
But
can, if we can predict pandemics, that would be great. Just let me know a year in advance that the world's going to shut down after a year. For a year, I'll be fine. I'll prepare. A year is enough, but don't just go. All right, we are shutting down today. I'm like, what? Don't do that.
yeah, yeah. One would think that maybe those supercomputers could have helped a little bit more manage this weird Corona time. Oh, I should have used the word because Google is going to downrank the video. This is like it looks so big, like it goes all the way down
Yeah.
there, and they all the biggest ARM CPUs ever built, like so much performance in there, right? The chip is so big. You touched it, you held it, right, at the Linaro Connect.
Yeah.
And I don't know, remember how many there are. There's like 2 on each board, and I don't know how many boards there's in each rack. So that's. But when you look at this amazing supercomputer, maybe what you're talking about is maybe doing a supercomputer at home with all the different Raspberry Pis and 96Boards and everything.
That's what BOINC is. That's what the distributive computing sector is all about. Yeah.
All right. How about what's the latest news in the ARM world? There's been so much consolidation, different companies buying other companies.
Yeah. I mean, it's just way things move forward. We can hope for less fragmentation now. Hopefully, the few companies that own most of the ARM IP are going to just come together and make a nice pact to do things a particular way, and not everybody just doing their own things. So I'm hoping for less fragmentation, but enough fragmentation so there's like constant pressure and constant competition in the market. Yeah, the whole ARM on Nvidia thing is funny. No one wants Nvidia to buy ARM, but like Nvidia really wants to buy ARM, so everyone's like, please don't buy ARM.
I think especially China is a little bit nervous, but I guess other people also nervous because China has had problems with the US blocking them accessing a bunch of stuff. So if the Americans own ARM, they might block even more. They might like disconnect China.
I think China's situation is a bit different because ARM never directly dealt with China. They did it through the ARM China organization, which is a separate-ish entity. It's partially owned by ARM and then partially owned by like Chinese companies. But then I think UK is also having an issue because the entire ARM IP goes into the US hands. And then all of the ARM vendors have issues because then Nvidia is also an ARM vendor, and they fear non-competition friendly practices from them. So we'll see how it comes out. But
because it was kind of a big deal when SoftBank came and just bought ARM to save them from Brexit, kind of. That was my feeling of what was happening there. I was like trying to get out of the whole UK mess. Maybe in terms of ownership, but then this, how do you call it? I don't want to say the word this thing happening right now that's happening, and all the, I guess the big $100 billion investment they had got challenged, right? So suddenly he needs to offload ARM because of it.
There's some thing on SoftBank not making the right decisions later on, but ARM was one of their money making branches in a way, and they sadly had to let it go. In a perfect world, I'd have ARM become its own company and like be listed and all, but I'm not too concerned about Nvidia buying it, but let's see where this all goes.
Maybe they should just hand it over to Linaro, and you can manage the future of ARM over there. Somebody, if it has to be the EU or UK or somebody. There's also AMD acquires Linux, Xilinx.
Xilinx, yeah. This is interesting, and I'd very much like this to happen.
They make some nice what do you call it?
FPGAs.
FPGAs.
Yeah.
So that's they paid more than ARM for it.
Xilinx is worth a lot more than ARM, honestly, because they've been longer. They were the ones to invent FPGAs in a way, and they just have a lot of stuff going on for them. And it'll be good. They'll have some room to breathe, and should be fun.
When we look at the Graviton 2, how big of a push has that done, helping the ARM take over the whole cloud server market?
Quite a lot in the server ecosystem, because there had to be one major player showing how much power benefit you get, how much performance per watt there is in an ARM ecosystem. So they actually just showed the world that, and people are saving money head over heels, and just a good outlook, and I'm happy for that to happen.
They say Netflix maybe is running on the ARM now. It's just some examples of some companies that might be using it right now to save a bunch of. Oh, ARM is using ARM. That's good. Yeah.
I wish. It will be very weird if they don't.
Yeah. They prefer to stay on the x86. No, that'd be weird. I wish I could run my ARM devices, and I should just click on something and run it over there on a little, what do you call it, instance, right?
Yeah.
And here's get 40% better price performance using ARM. So it's been kind of like talked about over the last year, and I don't know how much that gets talked about over there in Linaro.
A bit, not a whole lot. When it came out, everyone was talking about it a lot. I'm sure there are folks working at Linaro who are working much closer to this. But yeah.
All right.
I think cloud's going to go to ARM pretty soon, hopefully. We just need more vendors pushing silicon out there.
Do you want to talk about some other stuff on your YouTubes?
I think I'm good for the moment, but yeah, just been doing some random stuff as well. What else? I have some like old systems now that I sometimes take out and just upload a bunch of videos on them, just trying stuff out. I have this very interesting one, which was the VR-C3. It's one of the few non AMD or Intel vendors of x86 CPU. So they licensed the cores from Intel themselves, and then they just put that in there. It's a weird system. Not a whole lot works on it, but it's just a nice niche product to have. Just a random AliExpress find.
All right.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of fun over there, and also how's it gonna go on the open hours stuff on the 96Boards channel?
So open hours was a bit of a different beast to handle for me. What ended up happening? So if you don't know, Robert actually left Linaro and joined joined ARM, and he has been doing his own streams over there under Innovation Coffee on their own channel, and they have a momentum with calling people in for interviews, and it's always two of them. It's always Alessandro and Robert doing these things. like Robert and I used to do for openers, and it just ended up being just too much for me, because I'd be sitting here, I'll be talking about something, and because the stream was live, no one would really talk. And Open House was always built by like having the community in the call and being a part of the conversation, and so that eventually stopped happening. People were shy enough to talk during things were live, so I ended up making it to preserve the community and to like just have that conversation going. I ended up making a non live streamed call. So open as what I do, we meet 4 p.m. Thursday UTC on Zoom. There's a few of us, 6 to 11 people that meet. We talk about ARM a lot. And then so I had a guest this last week from Qualcomm. So I have that recorded. I'll edit that and I'll upload that. And it was a nice talk. So whenever a guest comes, I usually have a same offline call, but record it and then upload it later on.
So how can people join the Zoom?
96boards.org/open hours, and you should have the link right there.
All right. So right there, open hour 96boards/open hours.
Yep.
Next one is in 4 days.
Yep.
Nearly 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. And so maybe do you have some cool boards you want to show, like in your headquarters?
So one of the boards I have here is the 96 board SOM edition, and you're going to see some more projects out of this soon enough. This is one of our newer specs. So we have a SOM spec now, and this is the SOM module itself. The rest is a test board to test everything out that's broken out on this particular SOM. I can take the SOM out and show it to you. So that's RK3399. Again, very nice sock. I think this is the Pro variant. And then on here is the main SOM connectors, and then the 96 boards connector, and then a bunch of other stuff at the back. So yeah, this is one of our newer specs, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more content around this particular SOM module.
So who's making it?
I think this one is by Hoperun, or no, BQ Cloud. BQ Cloud. Wait, no, come on, focus.
All right. So that 3399 is getting some play.
Yeah, 399 is a very famous SoC.
My Samsung Chromebook Plus is still my number one favorite laptop. For like just browsing and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say that now that I have an M1, but I mean, it's totally better value, I would say.
Yeah, I have my Asus one, again RK3399, and this one is a flippy boy, so I can just do like that. I have a tablet right here. So yeah, again RK3399 works everywhere.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just switching my battery for a second. Maybe
Sure.
you can show more stuff you have.
I have some mezzanines on the table. I have a Dragon board. This is the LTE mezzanine, again from like just plug this on into a 96 boards and you get LTE connectivity. What else do I have on my board? On my desk, a Heike 960. These are a relic now because of the trade war. They aren't really being built anymore. Do I have more 96 board stuff?
Why they're not being built anymore, you say?
The trade war.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So they're blocking off high silicon.
Not exactly, because like this board uses a lot of components that's either shipped or made in the US and the UK. So like they can't get components to actually put on the board and then sell the board.
Oh yeah, they can't get the other stuffs maybe in there. Do you have more cool stuff?
More cool stuff.
Something that's not secret.
So this is another cool stuff. On the face, it looks like a regular GPU, but then I made a video recently explaining how you can make this an ARM only GPU. So now, if you have a x86 machine that has UEFI bootloader, this will not show you the boot menu. But if you have an ARM machine that has a EFI bootloader, this will show you actually the boot stuff, because I have flashed its um, internal EEPROM, or SPI flash, with UEFI drivers that AMD released, but they are ARM64 specific. So I think this is one of the more cool things. I really like this GPU because if I have an ARM server, I can just plug this in and it just works as a display.
So that means you turn all the headless stuff into.
Mhm.
You add a
Headed
display
stuff.
to headless stuff.
Yeah.
You add a head to the headless.
Yeah.
What is the? How about you showed this earlier?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I already showed the. Yeah.
You want to show it again?
Oh, I can switch over.
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning of the video, you were doing stuff. This is live from your.
This is live from my Honeycomb. This has a 560 GPU. I don't know. Let's play some mind test maybe. Let's see if it works. Hello.
So what does the mind test do?
It's a Minecraft clone, but looks like it's running into an issue again. I'm running Fedora 34 beta, and I'm just having issues with it. Sadly, no mind test today, I guess.
Okay.
Oops. You see there, and it sort of crashed.
Cool.
That's just a thing. Let's try it again. Maybe it works this time. What did I click? Yep, there you go. And the clouds are red. Woohoo! Not sure what happened. But again, this is like running on ARM. Also very dark because it's nighttime in the game. Let's make a new map.
What does that do, the mind test?
It's open source Minecraft clone. See? And you can do all your Minecrafty things. Oh, I think I need to make an axe or something. Let's find some trees. So because it's open source, I mean, Minecraft also works with the Java version, but because Minetest is open source, I can just compile it for ARM, and it'll work just fine.
Coder Hex says, "I am here too."
Hello.
All right. So how do you enjoy your job, working with all this Linux and ARM stuff?
I love it. I love it.
Have you been like upstreaming a bunch of stuff, or?
Not too much recently. I'm looking to upstream a few boards, but it's all been a lot of demos and stuff. Just building demos, trying things out.
He says, "Greetings from Turkey." Hi, over Turkey. I hope the weather is good. All right. So yeah, that's a lot of topics. That's we did like an hour video.
Yeah.
But there's so much other stuff.
Wait, what's that? Why are you magnified?
I was out of focus. I refocused, something like that, just to get my smile bigger.
Yeah.
All right. So, but for Linaro employees, it's a little bit like a normal time, this Corona, no? You're just always working from home. So what's different?
Always. We can't have conferences anymore. I just miss meeting people. So, yeah.
Yeah. No real connects.
No real connects.
Yeah, you need to get one of these VR things where you can like meet in a VR space.
It's not really fun. It's not that thing. Like, I can't take big projects and show them. Like, it's so difficult to demo something And for the longest time, my projects have been a lot of physical stuff: LEDs, motors, servos, and it's, how do you demo something like that? You just have a pre-made recording, but like, I want people to like take my project in their hands and experience for themselves, right? Can't do that. There's no demo day Friday, nothing like that. So yeah, that's sort of been the tougher part of the last year or so.
But let's do more videos like this.
Sure, I'm in.
If you want.
Yeah.
As soon as you have some cool stuff to show, let's do a
Yeah.
StreamYard or the other platform
Sure.
live remote video chat, and then we can do it the best possible way. Maybe if you have a space in your desk that's like you want to show, like if it's not any too many secrets, you can clear like a corner, and we can do like set a nice camera setup.
I actually have a desk cam. Maybe it shows up. There you go. See?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, so there you can be showing stuff on my channel if you want also. Just to get some more views on the stuff. That'd be cool. All right. Coder was also saying, I still prefer IMX8 board.
Yeah, we have a few IMX8 boards. We have the AIML and Thor 96.
The IMX8 is here to stay. It's not going to
here to stay. No, it's not the IMX7.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like 10 years of support or something like that, right? It's just gonna be like forever available.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that's what they usually say.
Yeah.
Why Tor 96 is so expensive?
Ask Arrow. I mean, there was some mix up at Arrow, and all the boards are so expensive now. We are working on it to get the price down. They'll be regularly priced boards soon.
They'll all be for $35, right?
No. that's unrealistic expectation made by like one company, and yeah, it's not easy to follow that.
Let's say ARM $64.
$64, sure.
Something like that. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's awesome. I mean, there were so many other topics, but sorry, I didn't really prepare the articles and everything, because I'm sure you tweet a lot, right? You tweet about everything.
I do.
So this is your Twitter right here. Oh, let me get on your Twitter. And people can follow you on the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that has to do with anything, you have opinions.
Yeah.
Like here's happening something. Vulkan Compute, Rb3.
Yeah, that's on the honeycomb.
What's this guy? This is a perfect packaging for potatoes. Okay.
Nuts.
For nuts.
Yeah.
What is this guy doing here? Okay, but there's a lot of stuff on your Twitter, and Geek Till It Hurts on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it says here, do you have an FB account? What is that? Fanboy? This, what is it? FB?
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah. Okay. You're off.
Yeah.
Off the.
I'm off
Zuckerberg.
Facebook.
Yeah. You don't want Zuckerberg to track you.
No.
Okay.
It's not just that. Like, FB's become bad. Like the content on there is bad. I don't like logging into FB and seeing stuff. It's just.
What is this guy doing? Okay, that wasn't real, right?
It's real. Yeah, it's a real footage from World War II. Yeah, that's a real footage from World War II.
All right, and this guy's running a 96 boards on Mars, right? Maybe
there is a Snapdragon 800 on Mars now, so maybe 96 boards soon. Who knows?
Do you think it's a 800, 800, 801, or what do you think it is? Isn't it 835?
No. It's older. It's the 32-bit one. It's either 801 or 802. I don't remember.
They didn't bring LTE on board?
Yeah. I can't get LTE here on Earth properly. And you want to get that on Mars, sure.
Who's this guy?
Not mine. I mean, I just shared.
Did you have another one, right? I heard earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So thanks a lot for giving an update.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks for having me.
There's a couple comments here going on. The dual HDMI and quantity. What is that?
For the Thor 96 and why it's unique, I guess.
And it is a 801 on Mars.
Yeah.
Cool. So all the work you've been doing is helping on Mars.
Nah, not quite yet.
Yeah.
Not my work.
Okay. Cool.
That's way before I joined Linaro or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all the Linux and ARM support is changing the world.
Yeah,
So
that's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So thanks a lot. Thanks for showing some of the latest stuff.
Yeah,
and thanks for talking about it.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
It's nice to be back at doing a Linaro Connect over YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different world now.
How about your friends that we were doing videos with last time? With
Mani?
Yeah, working also on the 96Boards or?
No, so Mani left 96Boards and joined the Linaro Qualcomm team.
So what's he's doing over there?
I think a lot of upstreaming for sure, but a lot of like bus related stuff the last time I talked to him about.
The Qualcomm team is busy?
Very busy. Very busy. Yeah.
Nice. I hope I can do a video. Maybe you can help later and we can do Qualcomm updates. We'll see what we can get out of that, right? Because I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff happening. Cool. I just wanted to get to feature film length, and then we can stop. No, I'm joking. What is the official time? It has to be 1 hour and 16 minutes. Then we can call it a feature film, but we don't have to wait until then. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks for doing the video.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks.
I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, see you in the next video. And thanks everybody for watching.